We are live here tonight on American Zombie, hanging out with Drew. This is Secrets Hidden Within Our Words. Special guest Drew. And we're gonna explore some stuff about words that I remember many years ago, about 12, 13, 14 years ago. Drew had a show that talked about words. And he went into a part of it where a word, like I had looked into one and explained it to him too, but he had explained many of them to me. The one that I thought of was technological. So instead of technological, technological, so-called advancements. But Drew had he was thinking about, okay, look at the word healthy instead of like, or hello or help, and then was like, why wouldn't healthy be heal, like heal thy? So a whole different way of looking at the words. Drew, if you want to add in, I don't know if you're there or okay, I think he had to reconnect. Yeah, so the different words that we have, when we look at it from an anagram point of view, it seems like there is a hidden language within the language. But then in the word itself, like say the word silent, in other words, they have the word listen in them, and you wonder about that because both words are related. Drew, what's up, man? Is everything working? Good.
Yeah, how am I
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
across?
yeah. You're coming in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was saying that about the uh heal thy and heal, heal healthy and help and stuff like that. Like, what would you say about the word help?
About the word health?
Help with a P.
Help with a P. Or like you're just going,
Like, do you think it's like, because I know that the three of them have a correlation, right? The help, healthy, and hello. Is there any more, or just those three mainly?
uh, for the, we got, yeah, health, hello, help, yeah, I guess those are the ones I could think of right now, with the hell, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's really just bringing everything back to putting our body kind of in that state of hell, like
So you're saying you think there's the correlation because it is kind of, you think about the word hell and why are they in these words? The greeting, the well-being of the body, needing assistance, even that word assistance, I'm not sure if there's a better word.
yeah, even diet, you know,
Yeah.
our diet that we eat, you know.
Hmm. What are some of the other ones like you were saying about pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, so pharmaceutical, it's I guess this would be more a phonetic pronunciation and maybe the way that we say certain things. Like, for example, you were saying with health, it's really spelled health. It's not health. It's not, uh, healthy. It really says heal thy. It's not health.
Yo, so instead of healthy, it's heal thy.
Yeah, and instead of saying heal thy, is what it says, we just turn everything to talking about hell, or like you're saying
Hmm.
in your one book about these funerary terms. But yeah, when you get into the medic-kill complex, it's
How long have you been a vegan?
16 years now.
That's amazing, man. We got a guy. who's an MMA guy, and he trains and stuff. The Vegan Skeptic, man. How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know how long Vegan Skeptic has been a vegan, but yeah, man. Uh, it's amazing that he's in there and you're here. There's no coincidences. It just have you noticed anything like these words within food, like the words that we use for food, or like you were saying, exercise?
Yeah, when we exercise, we were talking earlier, and it's just kind of thinking out loud. It's like, again, exercise, and then it's like talking about exercising your demons, and
Hmm.
then you know, but you get the chemical.
Could it be the reverse, like where we say we exercise our body to keep it in shape, or something, like where now the word exercising demons isn't getting rid of them, it's sort of like training them or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, training our mind on how to deal with things, maybe, or our body is like our our bow die. Our bodies is bow dies. Who's bow? I don't know, but
Hmm.
it, it's in everything. Especially when we're
Yeah.
talking about these diseases. You get into the chemical, pharmaceutical.
So basically, you think the words don't just describe reality. Do you think they manufacture it, kind of?
Yeah, I think like with your channel, this is the American Zombie. I think the unconsciousness. Basically, we're going through this life where most people are like zombies, and I guess if we're not trying to be conscious, and we're just gonna allow the lower vibration to win out, things that resonate is kind of this darker, lower hell vibration. Everything's pretty much sounds really stupid, like waking up, awake. I'm part of the awake movement or whatever, and good morning, hello. It's all very low level, uh, like a hellscape of reality is how I would call it, or you say the funerary terms, but it's almost like we have a choice between heaven and hell, and don't, uh, if we're not conscious about things, it automatically, whether it was set up or not, with the English language, I guess some was set up, but we end up with this very low vibrational energy. And that's kind of what this pharmaceutical, medical, chemical, industrial complex wants. And then you could break down the words even farther, like pH, like pharmaceutical, you have the word harm right in there. And you have the word starting off with pH. pH is describing our acidity or alkalinity of our body. And it says right there with pharmaceutical, it says pH, harm, but farm suit to kill in a phonetic pronunciation. It's telling you that's suit to kill or chemical, medical. Medical, people usually say medical. They don't say medical, they say medical. And they're telling you that. Now, also, is this a something that people are doing this? Like, the elite have to tell us what they're doing in order to lessen the karmic implications of what they're doing. Are people telling us? Is this their way of telling us what they're doing?
Yeah.
By putting it in the words?
Like a secret, like hidden, where we cast the spells upon ourselves because we don't know what we're really saying.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then right is RITE and WRITE. You have all these dual meanings here.
Mm-hmm.
We're writing the spells, like you say, the spell casting, especially when it comes to our life sentences that we're spelling. Especially as you go out into this working world and we're talking about earning a living and going out there each day. The earn is URN and ERN. And then you get into EA, which is actually one of my first YouTube videos I ever did. If you hear about EA, like Electronic Arts, or EA is the Akkadian name for the Sumerian god Enki. But you'll see this EA in so many words as well, whether it's health or wealth or ocean. You'll see this EA hundreds of words. You know why? I
Why?
don't know. Did somebody put it there?
So what are you saying it's linked to, you think?
The EA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with like the ocean and all, it's a key figure. This god Enki in the Mesopotamian mythology, where they're talking about a freshwater ocean beneath the earth. According to the myth, Ea was created by the Tigris and Euphrates rivers from the water flowing from his body.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time, and that all ties into this health and wealth and ocean. And you'll see that when they advertise electronics arts, the way they say it, EA Sports, or they're are they summoning this god or this god energy?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then you see that in all types of symbology, where it's not only the words, but we see it in all types of corporate symbolism, where it's done in our days of the week now. Days of the week, it's also DAZE of the WEAK, days of the week. And then we have our weekend, where we're weakened after a long work week that tires us out, kind of like a pair of tires.
Okay. I see what you're saying. The weekday and the weekend, instead of a strong day, it should be a strong day, And then the days itself, DAZE, days of the week. So like a weekend days in a way. Wow. The weekend days. So the days on the weekend days, it's like in a weekend WEA, and there goes that EA again, like you were saying, right?
Yeah, and you'll start seeing that everywhere, especially once you start paying attention to it.
Wow.
And there's a lot of gods in this symbolism and in these in language, like Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, that. Red Blur, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Mr. Super Sidewinder. Yeah, if any of you guys want to hop on, man, Vegan Skeptic, I got the link pinned to the top of the chat. If you got a question for Drew about his insight into certain words that seem to have other meanings, which healthy and heal thy, that's a very, I think there's something there.
Yeah, and is it something we're doing to ourselves or something done by our taskmasters, if it were?
Or something, or just our influencers, Sanctuary Seeker, good to see you, man. If you want to hop on, we got the link pinned to the top of the chat, man. Drew, definitely been into looking through the illusion of language for over a decade easily. He used to have a show on Blog Talk Radio, which was a really cool place. That they basically did what YouTube is doing now with live streams, but it was just pure radio, and it was a chat too. It was pretty cool. I remember back in 2010, 2011, 2012, around there.
Yeah. That
2013. And but yeah, YouTube is providing that on just another level with the visuals. But yeah, that's been a long time you've been looking into these words of the English language. Anything particularly stand out to you that people use a lot? I was talking on another show about when people say "How are you?" It's kind of like a "How are you" spell that they hear.
Yeah, 1 second here. I'm just gonna sip of this drink.
But
yeah, another one is big is the bless you curse or be less. Every time somebody sneezes, you're telling them to be less, not be more. It never seems to be anything really positive. We never seem to be uplifting each other and humanity with anything conscious. It's just starting your morning off, as it were, or your day off with just putting somebody into this rat race and bringing them down, whether it's starting the greeting where you see them any time of the day. Then it's the hello, which is just an anagram for oh hell, and greeting them into this hell. But really, if you think about it, we really turn this planet, and even the word planet, it says planet. Is this planned?
Yeah, the planet, the whirl, like a whirlpool, is planned like the planet. Sanctuary Seeker says, don't say you're welcome because it could welcome their spirits. Yeah, I've heard that too. Say, you could possibly say my pleasure. If somebody says thank you, it's like my pleasure. Don't mention it.
Yeah. My pleasure is another one with Ia right in there.
Yeah. Sanctuary Seekers. Yeah, you're right, man. I've definitely it's like spells like we were saying that people cast and we cast upon ourselves without knowing it, and also as a part of conditioning. We got to think, okay, what do we say without seeming disrespectful, by not just answering someone?
Yeah, can we really take the time and be conscious instead of just going through these motions of the world, as you said it, and just
Do you notice a difference between the ones you notice in different areas of society? Like anything stand out that way? Like work or just, going to a store or something?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see it in anything. If you want to get into the religions or schools, there's, like school lessons or,
Like the
yeah,
less on, like the less on, or less,
yeah,
like lesson, like to make less, not more.
yeah, right. Your school lesson, it's instead of I guess you couldn't want to call it a morons because then it'd be a morons, but uh,
Mhm.
lessons, why are you teaching a child something less instead of something more, or
Well, on is like on to illuminate, right?
right,
Like a light switch. So less on, less illumination. And it's funny that they would call a person that they would say is not smart a moron.
right. How ironic is that?
It's the opposite, right?
Right, and
Hmm.
even information, your information,
Hmm. Yeah, I've thought about that one.
keeping people information.
And how they say we spell the word. We literally cast the spell. Words bind concepts to meaning. Language frames the perception. So it gets kind of deep. The word grimoire was like a book, a magic book of spells. They say that's where grammar tells us how words must be arranged. And it enforces the linguistic law.
Right,
Yeah.
and then one I heard, I wanted to give some props to what was that lady's name from YouTube? Laurel. Um, what was her name? Laurel. Laurel Erica. She's
Yeah.
got some good stuff on there about breaking the spell with word magic. Um, there hasn't really been that many people to really talk about this stuff. I do have a book here by a Jack Tafoya. Got, I don't know, close to 20 years ago now, but and then you've written a few books,
Yeah.
and then
Spellcaster. Yeah.
I believe this is how
Spellcaster.
we
Yeah.
originally got in contact, talking about health and stuff has always kind of been my spin on things. That's where my background really is with the diet and the health. But
Mhm.
it's unlimited. This goes in so many directions. And yeah, it's one thing when you're driving to work and you see the talking about the weekend and earning and living and you know working is um you were king. You were king, not anymore.
Oh, okay. I get you. You were a king. Wow. That's deep, man.
Right. And this is a life sentence. We're
Say that one again.
life sentences.
Wow.
We're so, but one thing that you really see a lot is car symbols
Hmm.
and Saturnalia. Almost all, and corporate symbolism as well, where they're honoring these gods or channeling them. Not sure what, but you'll see Aries a lot. You'll see the Saturnalia. You'll see the owl. Like the Mazda symbol, for example. You don't really even notice this stuff until somebody brings it to your attention. The Mazda symbol is an owl. If anybody wants to pull that up and take a look at that. Like, also we say attention, but that's also talking about
Like being tense, you mean attention?
yeah,
Like
but it starts
tension.
with the Egyptian deity representing the sun disk, Aten.
Oh, okay.
Attention, Aten.
Oh, I thought you meant like tension, being tense, like a tension, to be at
Oh wow.
attention. Yeah, like to where you're tense. It's like, and that's kind of like what people do when they're at attention. It's like standing straight up, stiff. Attention. Yeah, I thought you meant that. Wow.
That's a good point. A lot of these have dual meanings, and we can kind of add to it and play off of these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking about the god Ra, the solar sun disk god.
So Aten, I've heard of that word before. Aten. So what is Aten? Who is Aten?
So Aten is an ancient Egyptian deity representing the sun disk. Originally a minor aspect of the god Ra or Re. Ra is coming from the sun rays, but elevated the supreme sole deity during the reign of the pharaoh Akhenaten. I think we know Akhenaten through some of the mummy stuff that was more popularized.
Yeah, I think
But,
that's the father of Tutankhamun.
right. The religion centered on Aten.
Hmm.
Um,
So any other ones that might be used on a daily basis without people knowing?
yeah, I mean, especially as we get into the days of the week, corporate symbolism. Like, say you look at this Mazda logo. Do people see how this is an owl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The owl. Oh man.
Like, why is there an owl as the Mazda symbol? And you could go through almost all car symbols. Okay, how about the Saturn car logo? That's a place to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's an obvious one. That Saturn is the Saturn symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all car logos. Toyota. Does everybody notice that is actually Saturn?
Wow.
As you get into Dodge, you'll see a lot of Aries symbolism. If you look at the wings of like Chrysler and Bentley, you'll see that different gods symbolized there with the wings. Same with Aston Martin. And a lot of these symbols have been around for a long time.
What do you think of this one on the screen? Evangelist, right?
Right?
If you rearrange the letters, it can spell evil's agent or evil agents.
Evil's agent or evil agents or
Yeah.
agent for the
So,
anagram.
yeah,
Wow.
kind of
Yeah, that
odd.
was in your one book, right? I believe. Um, or that brings me to the Bible, which is by bull. It's double bull.
So what do you mean, like a bisexual bull, or like a bi like bull? You mean like
Yeah, it's full of bullshit. It's double your dose of bull.
Well, we don't want to offend anybody's religion, just your opinion, and your opinion, just to be safe with, to comply with YouTube's guidelines. But I hear what you're saying. Um, some, yeah, your opinion in looking at it that way. So you don't believe in anything that is in the religious book, like it could be maybe part of it, or 20% that might have some type of documentative story from the ancient times.
Well, I think they got to get into it. I mean, if you're going to get into Christianity, you got to, people need to watch something like Zeitgeist and see that Jesus of Nazareth, he certainly existed. But your Christianity,
But doesn't
it's,
Zeitgeist go against that?
yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So Christianity is getting to what it's basically just solar worship. That's why we have Sunday. That's why it's called Sunday. That's why he's called the Son of God, Jesus. That's why we worship on Sunday. Really, it's just an astrological phenomenon.
Mm.
Christmas is simply when the days go from being shorter to longer. The days are finally getting longer again. That's what they mean by the sun being born on Christmas. The sun. It's just talking about the sun, the
Mhm.
SUN, not the SON. And this has been the same for thousands of years across dozens of different religions, just like Aten, as we were talking about, or the Egyptian with Horus. That's why we call it. That's why we have hours. Hours. The word hours is an anagram for Horus. That's why we have the horizon.
Mhm. What about vegan skeptic? He says cells, veins, like chains, days, the currency, electrical flow. Uh, do you have any thoughts on that, or like
The current sea. The
digest? Wow, that's a good one too. Remember you said diet, like the diet. He put digest, like jest, joke of the body, like wow, that's
that's a
kind
good
of,
one.
yeah, it's a good one, man.
That goes in line with the bodies or bodies, the diet, digest, and the dis-ease. It all plays in together.
Hmm.
And let me see what the other ones. I got to see if I can pull up this chat here on YouTube. What were some of the other ones it just says? See if I can find the chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of anagram ones. The anagrams, they get pretty deep, man. Palindromes and anadromes. I mean, it the language, it really makes you wonder. I think we have Escape the Matrix. What's up, man?
Hey, bro, what's up? It's Sanctuary Seeker.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
Good to see you, bro. Always, man. Yeah.
hey, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
this
Yeah,
is
I was.
Drew. Drew, this is Sanctuary Seeker, man. Really cool.
Hey, nice to meet you, bro.
What's up, Sanctuary Seeker?
Yeah, no, good to see you, man. Yeah, it's good to see that you're going live like pretty often these days, man. Because the content is good stuff. This is really the only thing I kind of care about these days, right? This type of content. So it's always good to see it, but obviously, depending on your timing, right? I'm busy working, busy doing stuff. So, but yeah, etymology, man. I've been getting into etymology lately. It's just crazy how words are spells, man. They really are, and they don't want you to know this stuff either. They purposely make sure you don't know this stuff.
Yeah. Any words that you kind of know about that might, like that seem kind of funny, like how Drew was saying a couple of words, like, vegan skeptic was saying digest, vein. It's really yeah.
I think the stuff I would say has already been said, like television, tell a lie vision, right? They program you. Because they do it when you're a kid as well, like just going through the school system.
Hmm.
Um, Now I know I'm not sure how much you allow on your channel, but this is obviously my views. That when they put you in the school system, it's just my belief that whatever they're teaching you is whatever they're teaching you. I'm just gonna keep it at that, right? I'm not gonna say more than that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's like similar to the tele live vision. You get programmed. The
Hmm.
tele live vision, you get programmed there too, right? They say, you ever heard this one? Parents are a pair rent. They're a
Yeah.
pair that rents.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
The
that one's a
peer.
good one. And I've been just even thinking about it lately, as far as like, like my parents are not really my parents. Like, just for all of us, that no other human being actually owns you, not physically or mentally, not even spiritually. So it's like you don't genuinely actually have any like parents. You just have these other beings that were guiding you when you were
Hmm.
younger, right? They were just kind of there to guide you and help you out and uh, parent you in a way, but they don't really own you or nothing like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, I've kind of got into that as well. Other words that I'm big on. Let's see here. There was a new one actually that was shown today. Was Amazon. It was about the how the word Amazon is similar to the word Masons.
Hmm.
Amazon, Amazon, Masons. So I
Like
was
a
seeing
mason,
that, huh?
like a mason.
Yeah, like the 33-degree Masons and yeah.
Well, that's what brings me to actually the symbol for Amazon. Did anybody
Mm.
realize what the symbol for Amazon is?
It's a big A, isn't it? It's that A, lowercase a, I think.
Well, Amazon, Amazon Prime, Amazon Music. It is a phallic symbol. It is a big penis, folks, for all your Amazon symbols.
Oh, you're right. You're fucking right, bro.
Yep.
Damn. I didn't even think of it like that. That's
I, I
crazy.
realized that a few years ago. It's unbelievable. And you'll see this big penis everywhere.
But but
Amazon
but why are
Prime.
they doing it? You're saying why exactly are they using that logo though? What for
Why
what?
do they use the penis? So this gets into a whole nother thing about sexual energy and how things sell. Um, if you want to get into obelisk and monuments, or Mark Passio got into this a little bit, talking about like why do we have the Washington Monument in between Maryland and Virginia. They've used the penis and the vagina for symbolism since the inception of this country, and I'm sure before then too. It's always been used where they use this for many reasons, but it's just funny, the irony. Once you see this big dick on the side of every Amazon truck that goes by from now on, you just start cracking up. I mean, it's on all their shirts, and it's on.
You know what you just did to us, Drew? Have you ever watched what's that movie with Roddy Piper?
They live.
They Live. Yeah, so it's like you kind of did one of those on us now. Because
Right.
like that movie, it's just crazy. The crazy thing about like that movie's so underrated. I'm a big Matrix fanatic. Like I'm just a Matrix freak. I love that movie. But They Live came out like a decade, 11 years before The Matrix. And it's just so underrated in the like awakened community or spiritual community or whatever. Like it doesn't get that much credit that no, they like because when he's telling the guy put on the glasses, that's him trying to wake the guy up, right? But he's like shoving it down his throat. He's being like a little pushy about it, and that's how we all are in the beginning. When we first wake up, we're trying to get others to wake up, and then eventually you realize, no, like people are on their own time clock. Let them be. They'll get there when they get there. But that movie, so like you just did one of those right now, where you just gave us one of those glasses, and we can't take them off now,
You can't.
and it's all your fault, bro, and it's all your fault.
Right. And you'll be cracking up every time you look at an Amazon package now. All their app logos, they call it the Amazon Smile logo, but I never seen a smile that looks like that. It's in the
No,
Prime logo. It's on the Kindle. It's on the Unlimited. Their music. It's on every shirt and box, and it's just a penis, and it's that simple. And yeah, you're right. They Live is probably my favorite because it's the truth. I think about it almost every day. Because once you put these glasses on, like Sid knows, I was away from this space for a long time, but this is something you can never stop thinking about, from these words and the symbols,
yeah.
the days of the week.
Well, it's just that it's so crazy that at that time, right? Because that movie came out in '88. At the time, like, the funny thing is, right? Black Friday is coming up, right? It's this week, and so from what I heard, based off people's experiments, they've actually tested to where they were able to get stuff cheaper outside of Black Friday. That what they do, it's the psychology trick around Black Friday. It's where they say something is worth $300, but it's on sale for 150. Meanwhile, the entire time it was for 150. But obviously that's like a marketing thing where when you think you're getting a really really good deal, you're just gonna buy it. And in that movie, that's what I love, right? When he puts the glasses on, he looks up and it says consume, right? And then when he takes them off, it just says whatever. But I love that even at that time, right? Like that's going 37 years ago or whatever, 38 years ago. They're telling you that, hey, like this is what it is. Like consume, buy.
Obey, marry, and
Oh,
reproduce.
yeah, exactly. You know, very underrated that they were talking about it. Um, but yeah, that's crazy, man. The Amazon thing, that one is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I remember some years ago I figured it out, and I told it to my twin brother, and he just like, "Oh my god!" It was like a big revelation at the time. I don't think anybody ever said that one before, but yeah, everybody now, you can see it everywhere you go, and just takes you to a whole nother level of looking at these phallic symbols, or the Saturnalia, or whether it's the penis or the vagina. There's also many times you'll see both the penis and the vagina. The whole. I mean, they can get into the whole using sex to sell in commercials.
Yeah,
That's a whole nother ball of wax. Where
it's a
they're
big seller. It's a big seller. Sex is one of the biggest sellers.
especially subversively in advertisement campaigns. Advertisements. There's another word. You're adverting the eyes. And in these advertisement campaigns, they're oftentimes using sex subversively to sell their product. Sometimes I think it's some of the Super Bowl ads now, they kind of joke at it because they're not being discreet about it anymore, or not even trying to be discreet, and it's almost like a known thing now.
Hmm. Sorry, I was just kind of typing something on my computer here. Yeah, what do you make of what do you make of the near future as far as with etymology? Do you see people waking up to it, or is it just going to be more where they don't want to put the glasses on?
Well, like waking up, for example, that's like that's one, a wake, right? We're talking about a wake, like a funeral. So, are people going to become conscious? I don't think so. I think it's kind of like good thing about this American Zombie channel is pointing out how zombified everybody really is. The
Yeah, and I was
zombie.
I was actually thinking about it yesterday. It was about okay, so I was just thinking about how, and I actually, it's more of a revelation. It was more of a download that I received. I don't know if you guys are big on that. If you both of you receive a lot of downloads, but I received a download, and it was letting me know that it's damn near impossible to convince anybody of to see things from the lens we see them, right? So, um, yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point because it's just like it's tough to say. It's tough to say, but I know this is what I know. I know once upon a time I was sleeping, and there's nothing you could do to tell me like through my ears that would convince me, right? So it's just really hard. It's really hard. And that's what that movie was doing, right? Like the they them or they live, whatever. Um, the glass is just a metaphor for a certain level of consciousness. You can't force consciousness on anybody, right? Either they're going to eat from the fruit of the apple, like Adam and Eve did, and awaken, right? Or they're just not going to. But that's all it. That's all it's about. It's about awakening.
And being conscious, because
Yeah.
awaken, it's like you're still dead, if you're at a wake. You're at a funeral. That's what a wake is, or
Yeah.
it's more like how the Rastas talked about being conscious, and everything we eat, and everything we do, and everything we say. And music is a vibration.
But you're
And
saying it in the sense of a wake, right? Like a wake, like if someone's going to a wake at a funeral, right?
yes, like
So like
Irish
a
people have
waken.
a wake.
Okay, so I hear like Sanctuary speaker. You see what he's saying? Like he's getting at it like in a way where the word awake, which we might say means aware to something, um, it can have that double meaning, that spell type of thing, because it has the word wake like the funerary term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
A
I
wake,
guess, right? Is that what you're saying, Drew?
yeah, wake is a gathering held before a funeral to remember the deceased, where friends and family can offer condolences and support. So it's like
Yeah.
another
I had
thing. It's like we got to be conscious of that, and instead of
Mhm.
saying that we're awake or saying good morning or saying hello or saying I'm going to earn a living with my URN, my earn. We
during
need
the
to change.
weekdays.
Right.
The
Where,
weekdays, yeah.
where you're weekend on the weekend. We need to change what we're saying to take the time and just stay conscious. It might take a little bit longer, but we need to change these terms. And
Mhm.
through doing that and change what we eat, change our diets so our bow die doesn't die and to improve our digestion. And it's about everything we eat, everything we say, taking the time and staying conscious and staying positive and uplifting each other. This is all putting us in a state of hell and our planet into a hellscape where really this planet could be a utopia, not a dystopia. We could easily be growing our own food. All you gotta do is put some seeds in the ground, but instead everybody just grows this grass.
So you think growing a garden in the front's a good idea, right?
In the front, well, for me, I have a fence and I have it in the backyard because the deer would eat it if it's in the front yard. I have deer across the street from me, a lot of deer. So you could put it in the front if you don't have animals and things. But the best thing would be to have a fence enclosure so to prevent animals from coming in and eating it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would say the backyard would be ideal, but whatever you got is
Yeah,
better
yeah.
than nothing, unless you want to make a donation to nature.
No, I mean front yard, like some people say food, not lawns. So
Right.
instead of growing a lawn anywhere. But we got the vegan skeptic here with us too, man. You guys will probably have a really good conversation because he's really deep on a lot of the stuff too with the words. I didn't know until I started seeing his comments in the chat. I was like, wow, this guy's getting deep with
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much. Hey,
Yeah,
everyone.
man. Thanks, man. This is
Hey,
Drew.
man.
Yeah, and Sanctuary Seeker. This is Vegan Skeptic. Yeah. If you guys want to talk about something, vegan, did you have anything?
Oh yeah, I love like everything Drew has been talking about so far because I think definitely this is the like one of the biggest tools to wake people up since it's hidden in not only English language but it's also in my language as well, Turkish language, and I know from other people that it's in their language as well. But it's not about just language too. It's about in every movie, every TV show, every music, and every video game there are these deep layered nuance, meanings and symbology. So my question to Drew was that like seeing everything has a deeper layered meaning in it. What do you think about the reality, and why does it have so much clues for us to wake us up? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I would say I believe there's a natural law principles in effect here, like karma,
Mm-hmm.
for example, where if you do have people who are structuring society in such a way, they want to lessen their karmic load by telling us exactly what they're doing. For a short answer.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. Kind of like there's definitely that seemingly karmic aspect to it, but at the same time, what I've been figuring out for the last 3 months, especially, is that these like I thought that we were the potentially 99% for the last like maybe 10 years, not so much so the last few years, but I kept shifting back and forth with the understanding of are there NPCs or are there these beings that are playing these scripts, right? And basically what I've now coming to the conclusion is that most people seems to be in on it, like pretending just like the Truman Show movie and the Good Place TV show. So sorry, I'm hearing background noise. Okay, now it's disappeared. But yeah, basically once I realized this, and once I also realized that most of the things they've been showing us, whether it's like 9/11s, the Charlie Kirks, everything else in between, has been like psyop and fake. And then I start considering, wait a minute, like if most of the evil is fake and most of the positivity is still good in this place, and that if most are in on it, then I started to question basically everything else, because if every clue is in the every single language, if every clue is in every single movie, TV show, music, game we see, then what is going on? As far as I see, it's like basically we are slowly being woken up to how we are in a game or we are in a reality show, basically. And those are so far my conclusions. And as soon as my perspective shifted in these layers, my environment shifted. And I just had a friend, like someone reached out to me a few days ago saying that, oh my god, like I'm panicking. Usually people reach out to me that way because I was the one who wrote a ebook, like free ebook, a few years ago to expose how we may be living in a matrix, right? And this type of ideas obviously is kind of scary. So, but this person, I told them like please like check out these new understandings that I came to. And then when it comes to how this is a Truman Show, how we are basically protected and most of the evil is fake, and that they are just kind of trying to get reactions out of us, right? Then basically what happened is that he told me a story where he was gonna go buy something, right? Like many things, and all of a sudden a car came. The guy basically on the back of his truck, everything he needed for that day, he had it in his truck and gave to him for free. As soon as like he went, he was saying that my fear and anxiety was 10, like 8 out of 10. Now he said it's 2 out of 10 after like getting a conversation with me. Then basically this is exactly what happened. So my conclusion is also this: as soon as my internal world changed, as soon as I got out of that like soul trap matrix full of negativity mindset, all of a sudden, and I'm not talking about those kind of like BS manifestation stuff. I'm just talking about literally us being potentially in a game where as soon as you're in a inner understanding shifts, it seems to shift the environment, and that the
Yeah.
environment has so much clues in it. So that's why I wanted to mention all of this.
Yeah, and I agree
Oh,
with you.
absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
talking to Sid about this before the call, and yeah, we were kind of getting to the same place in the conversation that, in my opinion, this probably most likely is a digital reality. You know,
Mhm.
especially as AI and everything takes off so quickly now, and as technology is really, really increasing so quickly.
You know the thing that vegans talk about. It's funny because this is what I've come to as well, right? That it starts eternal, and once you work on that, then your external reality changes. Like it's been happening a lot to me lately, actually, where like you just said, vegan, as far as the guy finding a truck had everything he needed. I'm now like it's just like I can manifest anything. If there's somebody that annoys me and I don't want to be around them, like I don't ever have to see them. Some comes up, I don't need to see, you know what I mean? Like it's like the universe is working with me because of the stuff I'm doing, right? But as far as the simulation, which I agree with that theory, um, another conclusion I've come to just from my just genuine thirst for the truth, the absolute truth, not a belief, because I don't belong to any religion. And I've come to the conclusion that if somebody's genuine in their belief, if they're a real Christian or a real Muslim or a real, whatever their belief may be, if their heart is genuine, the universe picks up on that energy, and that's what you get back. You get your belief system sent back right to you. That like you do get to live that reality. You know what I mean? But if that belief system that you believe in, if it also revolves around fear, then that's the frequency your life is around, fear, which is actually one of the worst frequent. It's actually the worst frequency to be living in is fear. You don't want to be living in fear. You want just positivity, because really, I wanted to interject earlier when Drew said you could look at this as a utopia, and it is because we're really in a dreamland. We're really in a dreamland, a make pretend wonderland where you can start manifesting anything you want. So it's like, why be miserable? There's no reason to be miserable or to even look back at anything that went wrong in your life because it's like once you wake up to this, it's like, whoa, like I didn't know we're in a freaking game. I was like, to me, like every day, I would just wake up, like a zombie, kind of like the channel name, wash my face, put on my clothes, and I'm like, all right, let's go to this job. Let's pay some, like, that's zombie mode. That's glitched. You're like glitched in a loop. But then when you wake up, you're like, holy crap, I'm on slow motion now. It's like, wait a sec, this reality is actually a lot more beautiful than I thought it is. It's like we could really do whatever we want. You know what I mean? Like we could do a bunch of crap with just but it starts from the mind though,
Right.
right?
And just to interject, they literally replaced the one eye with money. So money
Mm,
is the monai. The mo is one, right?
mm,
One eye. That's what money literally says. One eye. So they place the pineal gland or this dream-like reality that we create in our mind with money. They
yeah,
replace the one eye with the one eye.
Indeed.
The third eye with the monai.
with the mona, exactly, yeah. Yeah, and you know where the moan eye comes from moon, the subconscious. Because the moon is the subconscious, it's not the conscience. That's why and they know this, right? Like the Masons, 33 degrees, all the elites, they know that they can manifest anything they want on a full moon night because that's when the subconscious is wide awake on the moon.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly. And that's
yeah, and
why
it goes
the
it,
months are
it
called moons.
right.
And it's
Because
moon
moon
day, not Monday.
exactly, yep. And that's moon represents like it's like the feminine side. The sun is more the masculine side.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they even got it twisted, and I'm sure you know, Drew, about the 28-day cycles, the
Big,
28
big.
day a
I'm
month.
so glad you just brought that up.
Yeah,
So that's my main thing for me is the number 13. So everybody's got their own things in life. For me, the weird thing in my life is seeing the number 13 everywhere. Even before I woke up, if that's a term we're going to use, or became conscious,
yeah,
I started seeing the number 13 uh, all the time, going back 20 something years. I would sit in high school and I would just draw the number 13. I never knew
wow,
why. Never
Interesting.
knew why. This is
wow.
going back 25, almost 30 years now. And that's the reason is because we're supposed to be on a 28-day moon cycle. There's 28 days in a moon. There's supposed to be 13 months in a year, not 12. They changed our calendar to take us out of cycle with nature. And this is probably my overarching theme. If I get one thing across to humanity in my life, I would say that's probably the most important thing is that we need to get our calendars back on track. Women have their same biological clock in cycles with the moon and the tides and the female period. Everything is 28 days, and they changed our calendars to take us out of cycle with nature, like you're saying.
Yep, exactly, exactly. That's the whole purpose of it. But it's like I don't know about you guys, right? But I've been thinking about my soul lately and why am I here? And what I could advise to anybody is don't argue with your soul and like your soul mission, like you have to live out your storyline. And like to me, it's like, man, it makes sense to pick this lifetime. Like I really love a lot of the shit we got going on now. Because like I get it. They talk about, oh, we're in one of the worst times because you got like you got a lot of pornography. You got this. You got this. I get that, right? But these spirits, they might try and come at you or whatever, but you don't have to accept it, right? You don't have to accept what you're seeing isn't good. But it's just like, look at the stuff we have. Like I want to say we're advanced, even though I believe a lot of ancient civilizations were actually more advanced than we were, to be quite honest. Um, but we're just at a time where for somebody like me, it's just beautiful the way it's set up. I like it. I really do. But it's kind of like, all right, but you get up every day and it's like, okay, like, am I doing the mission? Right? And right now I could say yes. I could definitely say yes. If it's no, then we have a problem, right? If you sit here and you're like, I'm kind of screwing around, then we kind of have a problem. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm doing something on the laptop as I'm talking to you guys. Doing some research shit that I gotta do. So
yeah, and you're right. This world can be very depressing and dark, especially once you become conscious of all these things. And for me, I'm someone who still works in this Babylon system a lot. I still go back and forth to the city up to sometimes 4 times a day, driving back and forth to Philadelphia. I'm a longshoreman in a union, and I really see the rat race and the traffic and the
I bet up north.
everything. Like me and Sid were talking today. We said talking about drinking coffee, and I was like, I never even thought about it. Coffee sounds a whole lot like coffin, and it's like you see and it's kind of hard to remain conscious in that when you're chasing the monai instead of using your one eye, and you're going for that profit. That becomes your new profit, and it's nice to get back to doing some stuff like this where you're talking to some like-minded individuals, because
Yeah,
like you're
man, I
saying,
agree.
yeah, everything you're saying is the truth. It's very rare to meet people, and it's almost like I forget sometimes.
That's what I've been noticing too when it comes to positive mental attitude and what basically Escape the Matrix was saying, like living, with positivity instead of fear, and just like see it as a wonderland basically, and have genuine curiosity, genuine excitement about it, because we are among the few who come to these levels of understandings, right? And not only that, so for me on my Matrix experience, basically, I have had 21 years long conspiracy research, 7 years long, just astral projection, out of body research, where I do my research in out of body states basically, and then also teaching people how to do it in virtual reality. But then for the last 7 years, it was all about dark type of theories, like are we really in simulation? Are we in a matrix, right? And I ended up even writing that like free ebook for people 4 years ago almost. But the thing that I've come to right now is that before, I thought everything was nefarious, everything was negative. I had the worst mental attitudes, right? But only on the last 3 months when I realized, uh, there's some background noise coming, by the way, but only for the last 3 months, I noticed after my real life experiences changed, that then everything else changed for me. Like before, when I thought I was quote unquote TI, like targeted individual, where I have had many, many real life interactions, very weird interactions, like deliberately almost matrix letting me know that like either stop doing this or maybe like make put me into fear states, right? Especially when at the time of the quote unquote pandemic, when I was writing articles against it and against all those pokis. And then what happened is that basically, yeah, like my real life changed. All of a sudden, it became like a paranoid hellhole where, but only on the last 3 months, when all of a sudden my perspective changed about the world, and I started to consider, wait a minute, what if the conclusion is not necessarily negative? What if it's all of these troubles, like the every single movie, music, TV show, game having these layered, meanings and symbology, and not only that, but every single thing being scripted with gematria and numerology, basically every single news being fake, and everything else in between. To me, eventually made me consider that, wait a minute, why am I just drowning myself in this negativity? Because that's what the environment keeps reflecting me as well. If I keep drowning myself in that mindset, and then I start to logically consider, what about these neutral theories or these positive related theories, right? Not necessarily New Age spiritualism, but let's consider these properly. And as soon as I started doing that, what happened to me? This is a personal experience, but as soon as like I was going into an elevator, right? And this person basically like pretending to talk with his phone, as far as I see, because in elevators the phones doesn't work in our elevator. And then, but he looked straight in my eyes, and at that day there had, for some reason, every day for me is like synchronicities, like 11 everywhere, 33s everywhere. But that day particularly was insane. And at night, while going into the home, all of a sudden this person looked straight in my eyes and said that, but in a very deliberate tone that made me understand right away that he's directly talking to me, like, don't worry, everything will be all right, right? So as soon as this happened, I am like, whoa, because that like almost directly speak to my soul, and my soul has been drowning in negativity for literally like 21 years since learning these conspiracies, right? So, so then I went to, after the next days, basically, I went to the Halloween party, and the first song right away it switched to is the song that I've been dabbling with for the last 7 years in the soul trap community, which is called the like Hotel California song, right? And and then the last song, as soon as I was about to leave, it switched to the Madonna's song, like, Life is a Mystery song, right? Which every time gives me inner goosebumps, not just outer goosebumps. And there are these things in life, every time I hear them, as soon as I hear them, there's inner goosebumps. And it always relates to this life being a dream, this is life being a mystery, and that we will solve it. And like basically, it's like just something to be happy about, not something to be miserable about, especially for us where we came to these type of conclusions. So as soon as I had that shift, and these events happened, and then I started to consider these possibilities of positivity, now all of a sudden everything else is different. Now I'm actually doing, like, I'm now going back to actual Turkey, even though this was an impossibility to me before, where I was like, no, I would never go there. But now it's everything changed. Now I care about my family. Now I want to create memories. Now I don't want to be in this rat race on my end. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, never be able to buy a house, and then just wait for the news of my family passing away or something like that, right? So these last 3 months had been just paradigm shift after paradigm shift after paradigm shift. Me realizing that basically, yes, this is something like a game, and yes, your mindset is the most important thing in this game. Because if your mindset is that of fear, or is that of like anger, stress, and these interactions that you face, you just keep giving back those type of emotions. Well, guess what? This environment gives you reasons for you to do more and more of that. But as soon as you stop, like, I even remember my brother just told me the other day, this random homeless guy, just like a very like big guy, crazily walking around, and he just straight up start fast walking to my brother, and my brother, having the same mindset as me, he was just zero fear, just walk straight, continue. And then this guy also at the last second like switched paths and said that basically, whoa, there is no fear in his eyes, right? And to me, that was another Truman Show interaction. So this is what I'm seeing. Like, it's just a massive Truman Show we are in. Probably 99% are in on it, and it's just about like getting reactions out of us and also waking us up slowly to something massive. So I am just choosing to be at a better mindset, without fear, being genuinely curious about it and excited about it. And this is why I just wanted to express these feelings to other people, because I feel like a lot of people are drowning in negativity and having the worst mindset, and this is why their environment, the game, is basically projecting that type of environment to them. And I think they should test these theories, I feel like, because it can take a day to test this exact theory I'm talking about. And what if your world also changes, just like that other person who reached out to me on Discord, and all of a sudden in 2 days his life changed from 8 out of 10 fear to 2 out of 10 fear, he said. So yeah, so this is why, like, I believe the mindset is, where is that, the mindset is the most important thing. So yeah, I just wanted to say about that.
Yeah. Vegan, look in the private chat. Escape the Matrix left a message for you in the private chat.
Definitely.
Play
Thank you.
Doctor, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Hey, how's it going? I can't do support. Sounds like the stream's pretty good, man. A lot of new faces I've seen. It's
Yeah,
good.
Drew and Vegan and Escape the Matrix were all, into the language, deep looking into the words and stuff. And like the book that I wrote, Secret Words, contains the anagrams like late evening news. You can respell and get the words new negative lens,
Oh my
which,
God.
I mean, it's, we know that Walter Cronkite network recital, network article. The remote control works on electrons, the infrared.
Yeah.
Remote control, if you rearrange the letters, it'll spell electron motor. Digital television respells to it is leading to evil. I mean, that type of stuff. And then, of course, we know television, TV is one line. It's crazy how these things spell what they spell. It's like a language hidden within the language.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, Drew had some pretty deep ones. Like he looked at it
Really.
in a different way, like pharmaceutical, like
Oh,
suit to kill, pharmaceutical, kind of like
wow.
he was kind of looking deep into he has an opinion that a lot of those words have meanings in that way. Like chemical, medical, medical, like kind of like you look at just he was always into that. Drew, you had some?
Yeah, I'm just listening as taking some notes as people were going on some different things. But the one I got to mention is like, you're talking about electricity and elevator and television. There's another deity present there, and that's the deity El.
Oh, who's that?
El is often described as the father of the gods and the creator of humankind. Elhead is also named the bull El the king, the father of mankind. This is another old Akkadian god, um, going back, but it's also um, equivalent to Saturn. Uh, it's originally a Canaanite deity, supreme god of the ancient Canaanite religion, and supreme god.
So is this like some of the pagan, like kind of paganism, or am I like like kind of like Rome and stuff like that?
No, I don't think so. It gained different appearances and meanings in different languages over time,
Yeah.
and but you see it with Elizabeth and Ishmael and Israel and Samuel and Daniel and Michael and Gabriel and Bethel. You'll start seeing the L everywhere, Um,
Yeah. Okay.
so that I did want to mention. Uh, a lot of we have a lot of these gods in our language, different gods that we may be giving energy or power to, and it might be unknowing, just like Ea, EA, as we were talking about earlier. And then you guys are talking about the law of attraction. I believe Vegan was how this is like a positive wonderland. And it's the truth. As Jordan Maxwell, I think he's one of the first person to really talk about this stuff, especially with the um, maritime admiralty law, I believe he described it as, but with currency. Money is a currency. It is liquid. And the law of attraction is a real thing. If you want to manifest abundance, you can get what you desire, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come easily.
Okay, so can you go into that? Like, because a lot of people try to do law of attraction and they get upset when they don't get nothing. So why you feel like when you say it don't come easily, what you mean? Like it come with time, you gotta put repetition, like what dictates the effectiveness?
It's you can get whatever you desire. Like I got my dream car and everything like that. But it's not like I don't work hard, you know. It's not like I
Hmm.
live a normal life. Like I was just saying to my fiance yesterday, like when it first or yeah, today actually, I was explaining to her when I was first in my 20s to decide what can I do to get a leg up on everybody else. And you're like, you know what? Well,
Well, I ask
me and
myself
my
that question a lot of times. Go ahead
me and
though.
my best friend at the time, we were struggling, and maybe we were making $6 an hour back uh, back then, and we
Yeah.
decided we could stay up at night. Most people are sleeping 8 hours a night. We don't need to sleep 8 hours a night. That's another lie.
Oh, you think that's a lie?
Yeah, you don't need to sleep eight
Well,
hours
that's another
every.
con. Yeah, I'm gonna let you explain this first, cause I'm curious about that later. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be ideal,
Ideal, yeah. I get what you're saying now. Ideal, yeah. But
but
like a need, yeah.
right. Like, are you going to put your goals and aspirations and dreams and manifestations aside to make sure you get 8 hours of sleep every single night?
Well,
What if half the nights
yeah.
you can get 4 hours of sleep and then spend the rest of the time trying to get what you desire and make your law of attraction work?
Well, there's burnout. Eventually, there's burnout. There's stress. A lack of repaired tissues and cells in the brain. They say, just really wear and tear, more wear and tear and stuff.
Yeah, and then
With 4 hours of sleep, like habitually, 4 hours, yeah, that's kind of bad. That's pretty bad. I mean, it depends
yeah,
on how long we talking though. But I get what you're saying. Like, I think you can. I think if you can do that and you can increase temporary productivity to get to a certain point, and then you catch up on your Z's, then I think that yeah, I get that.
I mean, Google how many how many hours of sleep do you think billionaires get? I mean,
Those
self-made
guys. Oh yeah,
billionaires.
those guys don't be. Yeah, the self-made one. Yeah, yeah. Those guys don't. Well, yeah, from what I hear, they don't be sleeping like that as much as at least to make it seem. Not all of them, at least. Yeah, I've heard
About
some of theirs. Yeah, yeah.
3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Now, even going through the past, people didn't. They would actually sleep a couple hours, get up, and do some different things, and go back to sleep. You know, there's been different sleep schedules throughout history. This is have been more productive if you look at even like a Benjamin Franklin or somebody like that, the way they slept. But it, in in my experience, you can get everything you desire through your law of attraction, but it's not, and it's not like it's just going to come to you easily. You got to do stuff that other people don't want to do. You got to be willing to evolve and change. Like water, you got to be liquid. You can't be stagnant. You have to.
Assume formlessness. All 48.
Yeah, like today
Forgot
I
all
was
about that.
working on starting another side business, and it's starting to come together all of a sudden. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty crazy to be looking at another six-figure stream of income coming in. And in the past, like I was saying with my buddy, we were only making $6 an hour then or whatever. And now I got him at my job I was just thinking, man, between the two of us, in the last 5 years, we've made over $1 million. And here's just guys, we decided, hey, you know what we should do is just. I'm not saying you got to stay up all night every night, but
Yeah.
but you can go from making. At that time, he was living in a closet, and my room I was living in was about the size of a closet at the time.
Damn.
And to go from that to where I'm at now, to be a homeowner and have a family and kids and a dream car and a nice
So
house. And
so just to confirm this real quick, and I would love for you to be authentic, transparent. You obviously, so you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth, right? Like you didn't grow up like upper middle class at least or higher.
I would say I I wouldn't say upper middle class. I would say like typical suburban working class. Both my
Like
mother and
yeah,
father
like
worked very
so were
hard.
but they weren't like a doctor or like a lawyer
No, my dad's
kind of
was a
thing.
roofer, and my mom worked
Okay,
at a dental office. But they were very.
okay. So that's
They
like
never
working
missed a
class. That's
day's
like
work
working
in
class.
their life.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So that can succeed because anything higher than that is like, because then there's head starts, but then like you said, okay, that is roofer, yeah, okay. So we can't say they handed nothing to you over and over to make it. You definitely were, because there's that aspect too. You got a lot of these millionaire and billionaires who aren't self-made, but they propose as if they're self-made.
Yeah.
You
Now
get
they did pay
lives.
for my college education, but after that, I
It
kind
was
of
up
went
to you.
my own way
It was up to you.
and had a rough go in my 20s. Once I kind of ended up, um, I did graduate college, but I graduated college at the end of the 2008 financial crisis,
Crisis. So you got fucked.
the
Yeah.
highest unemployment ever was in my lifetime, and then I got done college in 2010. The unemployment was sky high. The economy was terrible. There was no good jobs really. You just had the housing market collapse, the bubbles burst. You had um, pretty much everything could go wrong did then. So it's just
Yeah.
not a great time to be graduating college. So they took me a while to kind of find my career. Now I'm a blue collar worker. I had to change and adapt several times along the way, but I've been a longshoreman now for over 10 years. And it was hard to get into the union and stuff like that. But I believe it was all from manifestations for things I was doing ever since I seen The Secret, which was, 10 or 20 years before that.
But you're saying you also one of the survivors, like that job has a
Yeah.
mortality rate?
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Like
it's
since
not
you've been
so
there in
evil that,
10 years, how many people have died or by like accident or, work related accident?
well, like you say, there's some people that die at the job who get
Yeah.
killed. There's some people who get killed on their way to work because they work so many hours. There's some people who die in their cars after from having a heart attack because they pushed themselves too far, didn't sleep enough. Or there's some people who fall asleep driving home. Then there's people, like you said, if you work and stay up too long, it takes years off of your life. Like by working the night shift, for example, it takes about 15 years off your life. So you're right. It's not a good thing to be staying up all night every night. But where's that balance? It's not like you're going to be sitting around and manifesting becoming a millionaire by
Yeah.
singing
Yeah.
some new age
Yeah,
hymnal.
there is a cap off to it. I believe in like you said, exactly. Appreciate it, MD. I believe in like manifestation, but I feel like everyone's life is different. And I do believe that some people have head starts. And I also believe this, the richer gets richer while the poor gets poorer. And that's because the five people you hang with or live with every day is who you're going to be like, you know? So a lot of people are held short straws, and some people are given long straws. So, I do feel like there is limits to what people can expect with their manifestation and stuff like that. For the most part, I do believe in manifestation, but I do believe in, like, come on, man, like you're not going to just sit on your couch and just be thinking about stuff. Daydream. You got people who daydream all the time. You know.
Yeah, it might be somebody you meet. It might be a friend, like my fiance. She grew up in a hood, in a really bad
Yeah.
neighborhood in Philadelphia, but she just said she just had the mindset that one day she set in her mind that she would not be there forever. Would not like a lot of people.
So
And then she ended up meeting me and getting out of
yeah,
there. It
she
might not
met
have
you,
been
but
her who had the job to
okay,
do
go
it,
ahead. Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
might, meet somebody or a situation, especially if we keep our options open and actually talk to people and we don't just walk up to them and be, hello, good morning, I'm awake. Are you having your coffee today? If we're really conscious, I think that really opens up the doors of possibilities. How many times do you think we've met people who, have a key for us and we have a key for them? I think everybody we meet has a key for us and we have a key for them. And we just overlook that.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the biggest
go
thing
ahead.
there. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, on my end, like everybody having keys on us, right? That just reminded me of. Um, I have started to also look into this life, and I suggested the same guy who had a lot of fear before, like just let's just be excited about it and interested about it, like passionately. And even when we go out about our days, when we hear things, right, like from random people speaking, or when we see these synchronistic numbers, when another person, for example, we notice on their shirt, maybe there's a deep meaning, a message in that, right? But when you look at it as a game or as a very interesting puzzle to solve, only then I feel like it genuinely starts shifting. And that's what happened to me, just like Neo in the Matrix movie. Once he starts to follow the rabbit hole, and all of a sudden the environment almost helps him to do it, right? Even though some people could say they were trapping him to another deeper simulation, it's still the like everything we learned came from within this place anyway, and everything in this place is literally screaming us that there is deeper meanings to it. But not just that, it's actually these interactions with people, because maybe we are not interacting with these with necessarily people. Maybe we are interacting with like quote unquote spirit guides type of people, right? Like these people who are like maybe our peers, who are just know the game. We don't know the game, but we will be awoken to the game. So yeah, I mean that's once you, I feel like, live your life, try to pay attention to the details and not rush in your life, but actually like just walk slow, pay attention, just be confident without any fear. I think the environment definitely shifts, and I think that's a great thing. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, and it reminds me of a book. I don't know if anybody's read it or heard of it, but it's called The Celestine Prophecy and the Celestine Prophecies. I highly recommend that if you want to talk about everybody in life that you meet has a key for you, and you have a key for them. That's what this whole series of books is about.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
It's about that life involves a spiritual unfolding guided by meaningful coincidences and universal energy. It suggests that humans are undergoing a spiritual awakening and recognizing and acting on these insights, like understanding coincidences. And then coincidence is funny because it says like coincides in there, or synchronicities, as I like to call them. Finding your purpose and learning to share energy with others. And in so doing, we help create a more harmonious world. And this book, meaning, revolves around themes of personal growth, spiritual awareness, and the idea that life is a journey of discovering this deeper purpose.
Yeah,
So
and that journey is very
yeah, go ahead.
exciting. Yeah. No, sorry, that's it. I just wanted to say like that journey can be very exciting, and it is right now for me. Finally, that journey is very exciting because I don't know what's at the end, but I'm just choosing to be have a better mindset about it. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
So you think that I don't know, like some people like I get it, if people get out there, put their minds to something, a lot of people can accomplish a lot of great things, but y'all guys don't think there's certain hierarchies and systems and pecking order that's kind of kept to kind of filter people and keep people in line
As far as what?
as far as like just industrial success of any kind.
Like financial?
I mean, yeah, financial, inventing, entertainment, big tech, big or anything,
Well,
you know.
absolutely there is.
There's filters. There's filters out there, man.
Say we talk about financial, right? So there's going to be, and there always has been, downturn economies and patterns to it. But there's going to be opportunities and times to buy a home. Like when I bought my house, I bought it in the lowest interest rates were in the last 50 something years. You got to wait. You got to get it at the right time. Now, if it was to buy the same house, my mortgage would be, there's another word, the mortgage. It would be, I would be paying,
Yeah,
even only 4 years, my mortgage would be twice as much if I was to get the interest rates where they skyrocketed to in the last few years. So now I think we have another financial bubble that's going to burst here.
of
You got,
course. Well, I mean, they extended it to 50 years, but yeah.
that's crazy. A 50-year
They
mortgage. I
pretty
mean,
much saying you're pretty much going to the morgue before you pay that. That's what they're pretty much telling you.
right.
Exactly.
And now it's actually getting to the point where they don't even want Americans to own homes anymore. Now you got people like BlackRock.
Apartments, they're building apartments. Yeah, BlackRock and stuff, and corporations are owning homes. That's kind of like the C word. It's kind of like the C word, with the it ends with the M. With BlackRock and them buying up everything. It's kind of feels like a C word, right? You can't even own a home. You can't own, you know.
Right. But just because that's how the powers that be want is accumulate more wealth and power doesn't mean you're not going to be presented with the same uh, opportunities that they have. We just need to have the knowledge. Right now, like Bitcoin, for example, is down $40,000 off its peak just a few weeks ago. Not saying to buy Bitcoin now, but how far is that going to fall? Last time I wanted to buy it, I was waiting for it to get to 20,000 and it never got to 20,000. It got to 23,000. I made the mistake of not getting it and it skyrocketed up to 120,000. Could have made an easy 100,000.
I remember that.
So these opportunities are going to be there, but we got to be ready for them. We got to be prepared for them. You got to, like right now, for my annuity, I just took a great run into the tech stocks, a 6-figure run with my annuity with the tech stocks. But guess what? The time for the tech stocks is now. They're overvalued, they're
Yeah,
overhyped,
yeah.
and they're ready to implode. And now they're already
That's
down.
true.
But you got to be ahead of the markets. These people are no dopes. They're no dummies. They're not giving this stuff away for free. So now I put my
It's
annuity
gate capped. Yeah,
in
it's
cash
filtered.
reserves, for example, and it's already down about 10%. It's going to keep falling. And this is not giving any financial advice here, but you know, there's going to be these repetitive cycles with the economy, but we got to study it. And in so doing, we're going to have the opportunities for financial independence and wealth generation off of this system. But you got to have the knowledge and the information and study it like almost religiously in order to get the insights. You got to know is when to buy silver and study precious metals and the cryptocurrency and the stocks and starting businesses and having the income streams and everything that plays into this, interest rates and that and knowing studying real estate and these are the ways that you're going to manifest financial security. not by praying to whatever God. I mean, that may help. You keep say positive or whatever. But for example, the economy right now is at everything was at an all-time high. That's not sustainable.
Yeah, of course.
The interest rates are up. Property values are at an all-time high. Bitcoin was at an all-time high. Crypto is at an all-time high. Stocks are at an all-time high. Gold was at an all-time high. Silver is at an all-time high. These are a lot of bubbles ready to burst. But now all these bubbles are going to burst probably around the same time. So in so doing, once everything crashes,
See, I used to believe that, but there's a reason why I don't think reason why they should burst. But it's like if these people are extending car notes and mortgages, then they clearly are ready for this to be like this a long time.
right? But then what has the rich always done in order to get richer? They buy everything up when it crashes, when nobody else has the money and nobody else can afford to. That's how they accumulate more wealth.
Yeah,
And it happens it might be every 10 years or 5 years or 20 years, depending on the cycle.
yeah,
But that's what they want to do. The controllers of society, they want even more. And the way they get it is by having downturn economies. And they can
yeah.
buy your assets up that you can no longer afford, like grandma's shore house or your
That's the black,
parents.
just the black rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, they want people to foreclose and go bankrupt so they can buy up your home for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, but how is this saying, like, but you get what I mean when I say that they don't plan on, like, they still plan on raising things up. That's why they're raising up the expectations to pay off things, you know? They still trying, they're not stopping this anytime soon. This is a new norm now. 50 years is a new norm now.
Mhm.
We're not owning nothing no more, man.
Yeah, they're transforming it.
Basically. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go,
so where
MD. There you
everything's
go.
just more expensive, basically.
Yeah, the
They're
cost of
changing the
living
game. They're changing up the game. Yeah, go ahead.
with
Yeah, everything's
hyperinflation. I mean, now they stopped printing the penny. What does that tell you about
yeah,
hyperinflation?
things are going to
Oh
be
my
very,
God.
very.
Right. And the nickel too. I heard about the nickel, I think, too.
Right. So we're in a financier's version of capitalism. This is a late stage of capitalism, the hyperinflation state of this American empire that we're in. And in any empire that you've ever studied, whether it's the British Empire, the Dutch Empire, the Spanish Empire,
Roman
all
Empire.
these empires, their demise was foreign wars, too many foreign expenses, over pursuing foreign wars, and then you start devaluating your own currency that's backed by nothing, like we're doing with our fiat debt-based currency and the Federal Reserve, and then overprinting money, like we've seen with Corona, for example, in what was that, 2021, when they were handing out the stimulus checks. That's what ran up to the current financial crisis that we're starting to experience. And this hyperinflationary state where you're getting rid of pennies and nickels. What does that tell you? You know, that tell you that we're devaluing our own currency.
That's crazy, man. Nickels too? When did they say
Nichols.
the
Yeah,
nick?
Nickel. He said
They'll be
Nichols too.
next. They'll be
So
Yeah,
wait,
next.
Nichols next. Nichols next. My bad. Nichols is he's right. Nichols is next, but pretty much they're saying that's going too. But yeah, pennies went, and they're gonna stop doing the nickels very soon though too, which is bad if a freaking nickel's going out.
that's
Yeah, and that might
crazy.
not be this year or next year, but that will
Come
eventually
on, man.
happen.
It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming, man. That's
So
really
everything
bad for
is
the
just going to
currency.
be more expensive. Everything's going to
Yeah,
go up.
the MD. $50 for the gym, man. I'm trying to work out, lose some weight, man. $50 for the gym, they're telling me, and I got paid $200 up front to even enter in. What kind
I
of
think
money
the
is that?
gyms. I heard they had like that Planet. What was it? Planet Fitness. You just pay $10 a month or $20 a
No,
month,
no. $10 and they doubled it. It's 25 now. So it went from $10 to 25 for Planet
and
Fitness,
they would say
and
pay as you go. Like you want to pay, you just
no, they
pay.
don't. No, it's like 15, 20, probably like $20, and they raised that.
Now
It's
they
like
want
20.
a contract too.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
it's like paying the rent. It's like paying rent. You know how rent want a first and last
That
deposit,
is
then they want an
freaking
annual fee.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think.
And then yeah, and LA
Wow.
Fitness want 50 a month. I'm
Yeah, I
thinking,
remember it was like 10, right?
I know, oh yeah. And then everything doubled their prices. LA in 24 hour was 25 a month, which was a little pricey, but they doubled that to 50. It's doubled
Mm.
to 50 a month. I don't know what kind of people they think they're making money like that to go work out, somewhere, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'm
I
just saying,
think
yeah,
with
everything's
gyms,
raising. I mean, subscriptions, Netflix is, I think, pushing 17, 20 now. It's raising to or something like that.
how many
It's
people you think go there?
to They're hungry, man. I could tell by the salesman. I used to do sales. I could tell by the salesman is they're definitely trying to justify what a personal
Like how
trainer
many a
is.
month do you think they get? How many people?
People, off of, I mean, it had to have been at least like it was in a nice area. It was in like a nice area in Atlanta, so it had to have been at least probably like 50 people in the gym, which is good.
Mm.
It's not big,
But
yeah.
only a small percentage of the people who have the memberships actually go. Obviously, that's where the money is. If there's 50 people there,
In the
that
gym,
means
that's
there's
working out, yeah.
5,000 who aren't there, who they're billing and don't even show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the money's at
50,
because
but yeah,
even if
yeah.
there's 1,000, you're making 20 grand a month.
Yeah. Off $50,
And
yeah.
then say 100 go to the gym out of say you get 10% that actually show up. I guess that's how they plan on making money, with the or even half of them. They can accommodate half of them if
They
everybody
can't even
comes in.
accommodate half of them.
Yeah, you
I was
can't.
in the business.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 5% that actually even show up. It's
Yeah.
so low. They know that people are going to buy gym memberships because they think it's good for them, especially around the new year, and then
New Year, yes,
just
yes,
never
yes.
use it. And people just don't
Wow.
use gym memberships.
But I don't know if people's trying to get. I don't know people that's not even planning to go in or are trying to like risk getting billed for not going $50. Maybe like $10, yeah. But 50 freaking dollars, man. People are gonna want to make sure that's spent, man. Every subscription
Depends.
is
It
doubled
depends.
too.
I
You
think
said
if you
depends.
go as you pay, yeah. But if
Yeah.
you got to do the contract thing, I could see people missing and eventually stop going.
And a lot of them have hard contracts to get out of.
Yes.
I worked in the
Yes.
industry. That was my
Oh, and
previous career for 10
okay.
years.
Wow.
It's
The gym.
very, yeah. My bachelor's is in exercise science. I was a
Oh
personal
wow.
trainer. I used to be a head trainer
Wow.
at a gym. I worked at Anytime Fitness. I worked at LA Fitness. I worked at
You worked
a
at
lot of
LA.
these
Yeah,
chains.
LA is $50, man. What's up with that, man? Yeah.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazy? So I was just
Mhm.
talking about making $6 an hour. That's where I was working then. So
Making
and my
six an
my
hour. Wow.
back then, this is I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, back then, my bad, my bad. Yeah,
Let me see. When I first graduated college, 2011, 12, maybe. You
yeah.
figure
Yeah,
what's
that's
that?
like that's probably like 12 now. It's probably like 12 or
15
15. 15
years
equivalent
ago.
now.
Yeah. So me 2010. So say 15 years ago, around 2012, and then so my buddy, we're making this is 15 years ago. They sign up a client. The client pays for personal training. Back then, say it's $60 for the hour. They would give us $6, so 10%. They're keeping 90%. And then you're still taxed on that. They back then, my buddy who's working with me now, who I was saying about us working together, he worked in my old job there too. They made $1 million off of his labor of personal training clients. And he was stuck living in a closet essentially, because if they're taking
Mm.
90% of your wages. Take
That's
$1 million off of one trainer. In I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe that was
the trainers
5 or
don't get
10
paid
years.
nothing, man, off of those things. They be robbing them too, but it's good for networking, I guess, for their business, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It was good for him to build his side business, but yeah,
wow.
there's some big scams on those big box gyms.
That's
And like you're
crazy.
saying, the cost of living is high. The
Exactly. Gym
hyperinflation's
memberships are high.
crazy.
Everything's freaking high, man. Everything's high. They
Yeah.
want to weed people out. There's 500 self deletions a year from men, just men alone in the U.S. Every year, for the past 3 years, for the past recent 2 years or so, it's been 500,000 male self deletes in the U.S. out of a 300 million
Crazy.
population. 500,000 in a year
I got to look at those
for men.
statistics. Wow,
You can
that
check it out. Yeah, last year, I think this year or last year, yeah.
Yeah, and that guy
wow.
I was just talking about, we call him breasters at my work, but his partner at work self-deleted last year.
That's crazy.
Wow, that
Man.
is for yes. Wow.
It's sad, man. It's
Yeah, especially when you work with somebody and you see it happen. And it can be shocking, it's not just about the fatalities on the job, it's
they say most
suicides.
people we live a low grade of depression.
Right.
We think we're okay, but yeah. But yeah, man. I hope hopefully out Saturday I'm gonna have a guest. I gotta check. I wrote him. He came on the show before. Really deep stuff. We're gonna talk about religion, human origins, ancient cloning, stuff like that. Probably Saturday in the daytime.
On Saturn Day.
Yeah, yeah. Or and today's Monday, so we'll have more streams throughout the week before then. But yeah, man.
Noonday.
I figure it's getting a little late. Appreciate Drew coming on, Plague, Vegan Skeptic, everybody in the chat. If you guys want to stay on and talk, you can, but yeah, I'll just end the official stream and then take care.
Thank you, man.